What about the newest and latest social media channel?
I
Don't we
know.
have to be there? There's people there. We have to be there. Help
It's
me
fun.
understand, Barbara. Help me understand this.
Yeah. So I think that many times I talk to my clients and they look at me funny. They're like, you're supposed to be selling me stuff and you're telling me not to do it. And very often you're going to hear me saying, run lean. You need to run lean. Operate with what you need to operate with and add something when it adds value. Don't add it just for the sake of having another new toy. Why? Because not only are you going to get distracted from, the ones that you actually need to use. I mean, how many of us have seen that with the spoiled kids, right? They have way too many toys. They don't play with any.
Right.
Same thing with church communicators and church marketers. We have way too many tools to play with. We end up not mastering any. So I think there's greater value in you being able to master, I don't know, MailChimp and PCO and Facebook and never looking at any other thing than for you to have this crazy amount of time spent in 20 tools every week. Like I was saying at the beginning, I always recommend churches creating a tool shed. And there are many reasons for that. So your tool shed will show you how much money you're actually spending in tools every month. Most people have no clue, just in tools. I'm just saying just software, not even, outsource, nothing, just software. You're probably not going to be very happy once you put it all in a spreadsheet and you see how much you're actually spending. And then look at how much you're actually using. Chances are 20% of those tools are pretty much carrying 80% of your workload. So the tool shed, doesn't matter what you use. We use Dropbox paper for that. We list every piece of software we're using, how much it costs and what it does. So a few things. Funny enough, I always tell people this because it's the most interesting part about the tool shed. I have the tools I use and I have the tools I do not use. Sounds strange, but here's why. I need to, if I have tested and demoed a tool in some point in time, I don't want to have to think about why I didn't pick it 6 months ago. So if I stumble upon a tool, I want to go to my tool shed and see, why am I not using this? And sometimes it'll simply say it's too expensive, or we're currently using, Active Campaign for that, or I don't seem to trust them, or it seems like their customer support is not too good. Like whatever the reason was for me to not decide to go with that tool. So when a tool comes my way, first thing I do, go to my tool shed. Have I tested this thing before? Yes or no? Okay. Goes to the bottom of my list. That means as of right now, I am not going to test this tool. So resisting shiny objects, that's what I do. That always works because I'm saying to my brain, you will test it out, just not right now. So it's giving me the opportunity to do it, but I'm saying not in the middle of my day when I'm working. Right. So have you ever been in the airport waiting for your flight, or I don't know, like a lazy Saturday, which we never have, but I don't know, maybe, there will be occasions here and there where you may have some extra time. Allow yourself the time to go to your playground, go to your tool shed, see the tools that are listed in the bottom and say, okay, I'm going to test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as many as you want to test out. And then you categorize them. Okay, this one, I'm going to start using it. I feel like it fits our process and I can handle it in my team. So I'm going to put it on the top and I'm going to say from now on, my team will know that this tool is available for us. So if my team needs to do, let's say, image editing, they can go into my tool shed and they can say, okay, they can search image editing. Oh, we're already paying for Canva. Well, Canva's not a good example for image editing, but you know what I'm saying. So you know what I'm saying? So, yep. Okay, we're already using program X, Y, and Z for image editing, so they can just request a password and start using it. Sure. You can use this internally with all of your team. Maybe it's just, they can view. They don't have the ability to change it. They can just view. But at least you have like this highly detailed spreadsheet of everything that the church is currently using or what's available, and also why you're not using another piece of software. So imagine, here comes Miss Jane and says, hey, we need to start using blank. and I can tell her, hey, go to the tool shed, see what's in there. And she can go and see, oh, you guys have already tested it out. It seems it's too expensive for us right now.
So is a tool shed, you mentioned Dropbox paper, is a tool shed something that's a document that's publicly accessible that different people can contribute to? Okay.
Yeah. So, and another thing that sometimes is interesting is I want my team to be able to propose software. So they can come and they can add and say, hey, I would love for us to evaluate X, Y, and Z. And so we are able to look at that. So if they need, for example, I would be the one saying, okay, let's spend that money, but they can suggest. So I can then, whenever we have the time, go through that piece of software and decide, okay, it seems like this would be a great tool for us to have. It's been approved, moves up, and now the whole team has access to it.
Yeah, that's really good. And I think that's a helpful way that you can, say, I like the shiny new object. I'm going to go for it, but just not right now. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that's key to being able to take a breath and say, I would love to check out the new something or other, but until my work today is done, I'm not going to get distracted that way, right? Because then what's going to happen here is you're going to be doing your work after hours because you spent all day chasing the new tiny shiny tool just to find out it didn't do what you needed it to, but now you're stressed at night. Flip that around, you get the stuff you have to get done during the day. Then at night you're poking around with a tool. If you find out it doesn't do what you needed it to, the stress level is different just by shifting those few things around.
Yeah. And, we all have those crazy bookmarks, we bookmark a whole bunch of stuff that we wanted to ever, I don't know, in some time in the future. So, and some of those may be tools that now are getting lost in this crazy amount of tabs that I never go back to. So this gives me the discipline to also be like, okay, if it's a tool that goes there and I allow myself that playground time, because we're all nerds, let's be honest. We all like to play with these tools and it's always cool to see the new feature. And so for me, it's like, even during the day. So let's say there's a day where you're just stressed out and I don't know, things are just not going so well. Allow yourself that treat. And like, you know what? I'm just going to clear my mind. I'm just going to test out a couple of things that I had here. And that gives you a little break sometimes, so it helps out.